Looks good. So, hi, welcome back. Well, we've obviously had a bit of a break, but we're back in the middle of July. Just come down the range to check my 243 because I haven't used it for a few weeks. Just had a couple of shots on a steel target, and that's in the kill zone, so that's good. We've got a couple of new sponsors involved with the filming. So we've obviously got the existing sponsors, which is the Harkila, Blaser rifle, Swarovski optics, and we've got the Spartan bipod and sticks. But we've now got the Stalking silencers, and then also we've got Sens earplugs, because I'm getting older, obviously realising that my hearing's a little bit affected by all the shooting that I'm around. And these are great little earplugs to go in your ears, just forget about them while you're out hunting or down the range, obviously. So we're going to have a few shots here, just do some practicing off the sticks and just do some different shooting positions, and then we'll head out later on and see what deer we can find. Yeah, so that's 2 shots at 100 metres. It's probably about a centimetre high, but yeah, looks okay to me. So we'll just head back up to 100 metres and have a couple of more shots from different positions, and then we'll be ready to go out. Yeah, so we had a couple of shots off the bench there, but now we've come down to the ground, obviously laying prone. Obviously when you're out stalking, you're going to shoot like this quite a lot, particularly if in sort of hilly valley areas. So we've got a good support at the front with the bipod, and then on the range I've got a little sandbag at the back, and ideally I want to get my hand in a fist at the back of the stock here, and then I can put that on the bag and I can relax or tense my fist up to obviously get the crosshairs pointing in exactly the right position. So get down on it, just relax, that's nice and stable. Obviously when I'm out hunting or I don't have this bag with me, I still want to get my hand at the back here like this, and then put my fingers across my bicep to just give me that little bit of support. It's not quite as steady as having the back bag, but it's still pretty good, fine for like 100, 200 metre shooting. Sometimes I'll shoot like this if I'm on sort of ground and I've maybe run towards a deer to get in a shooting position quite quickly. It's just sort of a natural way to do it, but you're generally not as steady shooting like that as you are supporting the rifle at the back. So we'll have a shot here. And then I'm reloading without taking my head off the scope or the stock to maintain the same position between shots. Looks good. We'll have a few shots off the sticks. Okay, so obviously we've got the Spartan quad sticks here. Obviously at the front it's got the adapter, which means I can pop that in there the same as I would my bipod. And then it's got this flat head at the back, which gives me my left and right movement. The most important thing with sticks, or I find generally, is you want to try and be stood as upright as possible. If I gave you a rifle and said, you know, just take a freestanding shot, you just put the gun up and shoot. You wouldn't crouch down and stick your bum out like a lot of people do in magazine pictures. So you'll see people shooting like this. So yeah, you'll see people bent down, bent legs, bum stuck out, shooting like this. You can take a quick shot like that, and sometimes, you know, if you've got to shoot the deer in a hurry, you just throw the sticks up and you've got to shoot however they are. But the problem with that is you're relying on all your muscles to keep you upright and level and stable. So you're really, you know, your leg muscles and your lower back as well. So don't shoot like that if you can help it. Bring the sticks together, get stood up properly. If they're still too high, then spread your legs to get lower, but try and keep your bum up in a straight line. I like to tuck my right arm in against my body and have a shot like that. Okay. Some people will have other sticks that have a flat front. So in that case, you want to put the sling right around the front of it and then put whatever stud or swivel you've got at the fore end in front of the sticks, and that stops them sliding forward and ending up with the barrel on the sticks, because that's going to change the zero. So put it right around the side, have your sling around the side of the sticks, and then it won't get in the way as you bring your back stick back. The Spartan sticks, you can get a magnetic V that just pops on there, and then you've got that in at the back. When you're aiming, you don't want to hold the rifle like this, because it's very difficult to do little movements to get in exactly the right place. You tend to end up lifting the rifle and jumping too far. So put your hand like that underneath the front of the gun, and then you can move it, little adjustments left and right. So hopefully that helps you guys when you're shooting off sticks yourself. Let's go and have a look at the target. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots on there. I think we might have had one more or a couple more off camera. So yeah, pretty pleased with that little group. Obviously got one slightly out to the right here, which I know was that last shot I took off the sticks when I was using with the flat bit at the front. But yeah, all well within the kill zone, you know, and within 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So that's yeah, more than good enough for chest shooting at 100 metres and a bit further. So we'll go back up and make a plan about where we're going to go stalking. Right, so it's fairly early. It's 4:30. What are we on? 17th of July. So we might get a little bit of rutting action if we're lucky. So we'll keep an eye out for some roebucks just moving around in case there's any does coming into season. But I think we're probably going to be a little bit early. So I think what we'll do is we'll head down the track here to the big wood. We've got a couple of fairly low maize fields that we can look on. And then there's a cereal field down there on the right, which is probably still standing, or they might have cut it. But if we get down to the wood and we haven't seen anything, then we'll go in the wood and have a look on those grass rides, just see if we can get a muntjac or two wandering about. Got that oyster catcher just screeching at us. So obviously using the new, just released Swarovski bino harness, so that can flap down, and magnets at the bottom there, and got my eel ranges in there so it fits a nice big pair of binoculars. Got various pockets for whatever you want to put in there. I've got some spare rounds in this side and a cleaning cloth in this side. Yeah, so as I said back up there, this barley's still standing, but they've started harvesting already, and this will be gone within a day or two, I would imagine. There's nothing on this maize field as we've come down on the left-hand side of the track, so just going to crack on down into the wood and see if we spot anything wandering around in there. Yeah, so we've just got down into the wood here. Obviously got some guys just doing some tree work in here. I think they're just removing a tree from a pheasant pen because the birds are just about to go out any day now. You can see there's quite a lot of bracken and nettles and high cover either side of these rides. So all we can really do is just wander up the ride slowly and just hope that something crosses. Just have a look in a few little low spots just in case there's something milling about in there. So yeah, we'll just go dead slow and maybe wait at a few little crossroads just so we've got some good vantage points. muntjac through here. A bit of luck there. We've just stopped on the corner of this crossroad. Obviously we've got the guys with the chainsaw behind the camera there, about 100 metres back. There was a couple of young buzzards just sat on the floor underneath these trees, and there's been quite a few of them calling around here, so we're obviously in a bit of a nest site with mum and dad and the chicks. And then just literally looked through there and saw a muntjac shape, and I think it's a young buck about 100 metres away. So it looks like it's gone straight down. We'll just give it a couple of minutes and then we'll go and have a look. Well, there we go. Young muntjac buck, so just coming up for a year old, just growing its first set of antlers. You see, if you remember, the first set of muntjac antlers just come straight up out of the pedicle without any coronet at all. It was still on a bit of an angle, so I actually took it here where the neck meets the shoulder, and it's come out through the shoulder on the other side. So yeah, you can see there's quite a lot of flies in here already. So we'll just leave this somewhere shady and just do a little circuit round on the way back to the truck. We obviously can't leave it too long because it's hot, but equally we don't want to open it up, because as soon as we open it up, we've got to carry it out to stop the flies, you know, laying eggs all over it. So we'll go and find somewhere shady to leave it, cover it up with a bit of grass, and keep going a little bit longer. So quite often when I'm stalking down these woodland rides, I'll be out from the edge of the ride. Obviously, if anything comes out across the ride, there's a chance it's going to see me quite easily. But if you imagine that you guys are the deer and in the wood, it doesn't really matter where I walk on the woodland ride, because obviously from your perspective, I'm just walking through the wood. But I tend to find that although you leave yourself exposed, if something steps out onto the ride in front, that you're going to be easy to see because you're out from the edge. It's quieter, and that usually gives you a bit more chance to see stuff that's just inside the wood where the camera is at the moment. Just saw a white admiral butterfly, which are not really rare, but they're not an everyday occurrence, and there's quite a lot of them in this wood, because we get a lot of honeysuckle growing up the side of the trees on the edge of the ride, and that's their main food plant. And you usually get them this time of year onwards. Usually like the peak is around when the game fair is. Got a young red stag just come out about 350 metres down the ride. So it's probably its second set of antlers. The reds, or the red males, come into season from 1st of August, so he's got a few more weeks yet. Generally we'd leave something like that to grow bigger anyway. There's a muntjac just gone across the track, about 300 metres down, going from left to right. It's gone into the long grass. It's always the problem with a muntjac, is they're always going to be crossing, but you just need to be close enough to get a shot on them, because by the time you get down to them, then they're just gone across too quick otherwise. It's quite open on the left hand side here, so we'll just go steady and have a good look through here as we go. Wow, there's not a lot moving around. We're almost out of the wood, just behind the camera here, so I think what I'm going to do is just sit up this high seat for 20 minutes, just see if anything comes across the ride, and obviously that will give us a good vantage point then. Obviously when you're going up a high seat you may need to make sure you're properly unloaded, so take that round out of the chamber, close the bolt. And obviously once we're up into the high seat, got to make sure we're reloading with the muzzle pointing down rather than up in the air. So when I get up in these high seats, I obviously looking both ways, also behind you, because quite often stuff will come in behind that you haven't noticed, and obviously in front, but there's a lot of bracken behind where the camera is, so we're not going to see much in there. But I usually get up a high seat and re-familiarise myself with like distances in the areas where I know the deer usually cross. So I know up here to my right there's a branch that sticks up out of the bracken, that's 100 metres, and then down here there's a lone ash tree on the right hand side of the ride, that's 100 metres that way. So it just saves me time if a muntjac comes across, rather than putting the binos up, identifying it, getting a range on it, putting them back down, and then getting the gun. By the time you've done that, sometimes they've gone across. So I've got a red hind just come out on my right. So you can see where she is compared to that stick that's standing up out of the bracken. It's almost double the distance, so I just know straight away that's pretty much 180, 200 metres. We might have a calf with her, or she might be the mother to the one that I heard calling in the bracken that's in front of me. Just watching that hind through the binos, and she came out onto the track but stopped pretty much the place where we walked down the ride, so she was having a good sniff on the ground, and then she sort of pretty much ran back in. So she obviously knew we'd been down there and didn't want to come across anymore. Sniffing where we walked down the track. So that's the red hind, like barking at us, because she's unsure of what we are. Or she's unsure of what the cameraman is, because I'm safely tucked up the seat. That's the red deer equivalent of a muntjac bark or a roe barking away. Yeah, we've given it a bit of time, but not seen anything we can shoot. Obviously we've seen those few red deer, which was quite nice. Hoped we might see one of the calves, but they haven't come out in the open, which is a shame. But we need to get that first muntjac we shot sorted out, so we'll get down now and start working our way back round to the vehicle and see if we get lucky on the way back. Obviously the rifle, I can open it on safe, so I can keep it pointed up. Again, take the round right out, close the bolt over the magazine, and then come down facing the ladder. It's just a muntjac there. I can't shoot at the moment, there's no shot. It's a muntjac doe. I just don't have a shot on the chest because it's behind the stump and it's moving its head around too much. See, it's just flicking its head around because of the flies. It's just too risky to take a headshot. Keep on it, mate. Whoop! I think I got it. It moved to the right. It wasn't an overly clear shot, but it was clear enough to take it. And I kind of rushed it a bit. I think I probably hit it a bit high, if anything. But it was literally just a case of give it a shout and hope for the best, really. Can't see any movement from there anymore anyway. Just went straight down. Shot's a little bit high, but it's not too bad. Yeah. Lovely job. Back at the larder, just got these two sorted out. Obviously need to get them in the chiller, get them away from all the flies, but fairly standard muntjac size. The buck on this side was 7 kilos and the doe was 6 kilos. So yeah, hopefully we're up and running again now. We'll be filming again in the middle of August, so we might just miss the tail end of the roe rut, but we're going to be out in the morning looking for a roebuck. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. You know, is there anything that we haven't done that you guys want to see? I know there's a bit of like knife work that you guys want to get a look at, so we'll try and do those in the next few videos. But any other content that you feel we've missed out on, any information, any sort of questions that you guys have got that we can answer in the films, by all means put them in the comments and we'll try and do them. And also let us know, do you like short videos, long videos? I think the shortest ones we do are like 15 minutes. to 20 minutes in the past, but some of them have been half an hour, 45 minutes. Obviously it depends on the content. So yeah, what do you guys like? Let us know and see you next time.